Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right. What's up, man? How's it going?
It's going good, dude. Just a lazy Saturday afternoon, chilling out, watching sports.
Right on. Any hockey games you're watching today?
You know what? I had the Canucks and Islanders on, and it sounds random, but when you're doing hockey fantasy, I don't know if you do hockey fantasy, but
I have before.
Okay,
yeah.
So, this is my second year doing a fantasy league, and it's crazy how much it makes you pay attention to all these like random arbitrary games. There's like 82 games in the season, and you know what I mean? It's hard enough to watch your own team, but all of a sudden now you have these like investments in all these other teams and players. So I had a JT Miller who plays for the Canucks on my team. So I'm actually watching like a bunch of the Canucks games, and who else? Who's the other dude? I have my top guys are like Kucherov. So I watched a bunch of Lightning games and stuff like that. So yeah, it's been fun. Unfortunately, the Kings are doing pretty awful, but I still have Quick as my goalie.
Wait, is that who's your team?
The Kings. The Kings are
the Kings. Team, okay. Because I was looking at JT Miller and it says he's on
the Canucks.
And you're in Canada, so I was like, is that his team? But that makes sense. Yeah, you're LA. Go hard.
Yeah,
all those teams.
All the LA teams.
I was curious. I was like, I can't remember, but LA.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Kings, Lakers. I'm pretty diehard Kings and Lakers. So.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did you see the well, if you didn't see it, I don't know how you wouldn't, but the Justin Bieber Bennington challenge? Yeah.
Oh, the beef? Oh, I love it.
What do you do you think Bieber will score at all?
You know what?
That's some chops, man.
Here's the thing. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, watching him play, I'm like, okay, the kid can skate. He's Canadian. I think if you're born in Canada, you get your honorary hockey stick and skates at birth, and then you just kind of like, you go from there. So I think that he can definitely play hockey. Like he plays drop-in and stuff. And but there's a huge difference between being able to go out and score on some, plug local goalies or whatever. And there's a whole other thing playing against like literally like Stanley Cup champion, like a goaltender of his caliber. Right. I don't think he scores.
Say he goes 10 without?
Yeah. I say he hits a couple posts, but there's like, there's no chance unless, here's my thing. I might throw one goal in there just based on the fact that when I see like these kind of high caliber goalies and I'll play against these like, college goalies, WHL, whatever, like in some of my hockey leagues that I play in.
Yeah.
The goals that tend to go in are sort of the flubs, like when someone isn't that great at hockey, and you're kind of like, because the goaltender's looking at your stick blade. He's looking at if you're opening your stick blade up to go high, if you're closing it, if you're going to make a fake and go backhand, whatever the case is. So he's watching you. And with a lot of these guys that aren't that great at hockey, they kind of it's very erratic and random. Their movements. Yeah, it's not predictable. So he might get like a weird like flubby goal in there just to, I don't know. But
I think and if he does, I call if he does, I call it's going to be like a backhand, because backhand it's hard to read because the curvature of the stick is going the opposite way.
Yeah.
So I say if he does score,
it might be a little backhand 5-hole kind of thing.
5-hole trickle through. Yeah. I don't think he's sniping.
No.
But
I don't think he's picking corners.
Another thing that came through my head was like, I mean, it's great if he does score. It's going to $10,000 to charity, which is cool.
Yeah.
But that kind of in a way makes me think, is like, do you think Bennington's just going to let one go in?
True. Yeah. I don't know. I think that he might. Hockey players don't make as much as basketball players. I think if it's a basketball player, they're making like
way
minimum like $1 million, right? That's minimum. Like that's like a bench player who doesn't even play is still probably making close to $1 million.
It's ridiculous.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars. But someone like, a hockey player, even him at his level, I think 10 grand is still 10 grand.
Right. Jeez.
But we'll see.
I did see.
Fun.
I hope I don't know where to watch it. Hopefully they do something kind of cool.
It would be awesome. Yeah.
But I saw, and I was trying to find it. All I could find was just on St. Louis's site. Mm-hmm. But I think Bennington said something along the lines that he's gonna poke check him on the second, fourth, or fifth, and seventh shot. So he's telling him, he's
telling him, I'm gonna poke check you.
I know. His Bieber's posting these videos of him stick handling and whatnot, and I'm like, I mean, that's cool.
You know what? It's and like I don't ever want to sort of put anyone down, right? Like and Bieber's sort of had his own, people have lashed out at him, and I've seen it online, especially with his like stick handling videos. But you know what? Good for him, man. Like, I feel like I love hockey. I have nothing to play for. There's I play in like a men's league, and it's like a higher level kind of men's league and everything. And we win like a cup if we win, but really you're not playing for anything. But I love it, man. Like I want to get back in the gym and work out and just be stronger and faster. I want to like just be the best I can at it, just for the sole fact of I just want to be good. Like there's nothing to win. You know what I mean? There's no consequences. Yeah. And so I can see, like, you know what? Like, let him go and do his thing, man. Like, let him take these classes, get in the gym, like take some lessons. Like, that's awesome. Like, he has the funds to do it. He could the dude could probably hire, Wayne Gretzky to show him, to give him some private lessons. Like, he's got the money. So why not do it? I would probably do the same thing if I were in his position. I was like,
without a doubt,
mega star who had this hobby. Yeah. I mean, Drake does the same thing. It's funny. Like, I just watched this like video of Drake shooting some crazy, like, James Harden step back shot. And the dude has unlimited funds, man. He can hire the best in the game, the best trainers there are. And just to be good at something, like, I think that's awesome. That's, go for it. I would never knock him for doing that. I know a lot of people are.
Oh yeah, no. Of course.
Bieber's an easy target, right? Like, he's kind of made those mistakes. He's kind of said some things that are a little cringy at times, but the dude hasn't grown up like a regular human being either, right? Like, he's been this megastar forever.
That no one thinks about, just growing up in that limelight.
It's crazy.
It's hard.
Yeah. So.
Shit. But yeah, I was like, damn, I need to bring that up, because like no one else I really talk to, loves hockey as much as I do. Yeah. And I'm like, I mean, I talked to my dad about it, like, because obviously, well, I grew up playing hockey, so he was the one paying for it. Yeah. But, my brothers and whatnot. But like, besides that, I don't really know. I mean, some other friends, but they're not like a call up and, hey, like.
Yeah, let's talk about hockey. Yeah. That's funny.
Okay. I say he gets at least one, or if he gets one, I call backhand 5-hole trickle in.
Okay. Nice. Yeah. We'll see. I hope it happens. Yeah.
I do too, because I think it would be, I mean, major props to him. But I mean, also, I think 10 grand's going somewhere regardless. But
it's true. You know what? What they could do is sort of like live stream it.
Yeah,
or whatever the case is, and charge people to watch.
Oh, I would gladly pay like, $10 $10 or $5 a person, anything. I'd pay.
Yeah, something like that, and then that goes to charity. Like, I think that's cool enough. Or get some sponsors involved and have make it like a, they do like the celebrity hockey games and stuff like that. Like, just have it be involved. Make it a celebrity hockey game with this other event involved. Cool. You can go buy tickets to watch it, stuff like that. So. I think it'd be fun.
That's a good idea. Hell yeah. I'll have to, well, hopefully it's soon. They were saying that it might be in the off season, which makes sense, but.
Well, yeah. Save it for later.
Right. Let's see here. You mentioned over text that, so Lights is out of town. Is she on tour or?
Yeah. So she's been, performing with Deadmau5, the DJ Deadmau5. Yeah. So over the last, like, oh man, seems like forever now, like maybe 6 months or so.
Really?
I think it started in August.
Dang.
So maybe, so it's been it's not sort of the conventional touring like we're used to, like, most
EDM
most bands.
style.
It's the EDM style where they do, they'll go into a town for 4 or 5 nights, and then it'll be like 2 weeks off, and then another show, maybe 2 shows, and then a couple weeks off.
That's
so
pretty
she's
cool.
sort of been, so she's been doing that. Since I feel like it was since last August. I could be wrong, but so now she's in Chicago. They're doing a show there, and then she's back for a couple days, and then going to Brooklyn for I think 5 shows or something like that. So it's cool. It's for her, it's super easy compared to a regular touring schedule where you're playing a show every single night. You're like out there sweating your ass off for an hour and a half or whatever the case is. So she's like, man, this is cake. Like, I go up and I sing for 15 minutes. And then and she also has an opening set. So I think they offered her like eight opening slots where she actually did remixes of her own songs. And her and my buddy Tyler Smith, who Tyler produced Hard Feelings, our last album.
Was he Danger?
He's in Danger Kids. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
2-time Grammy nominated Tyler Smith is how we should be addressing.
Oh yeah. Sorry, my bad.
No, but Tyler's just has been a great friend, and then he did our album, and I was just like blown away at his skill level and just his overall just being a great person and fun to work with. So I recommended him to Lights, like, hey, you should, because she was kind of looking for someone to partner up with, because she does remixes, she records herself, she does all that stuff, but she wanted someone to kind of do maybe a little bit more than she was able to, like something a little bit above her skill level as far as that goes. So she partnered up with Tyler, and they just smashed it. Like, they have this really sick EDM set, and they both go up there and they face each other, and they have this really cool setup. Yeah. With like a little LED wall, and they just smash out these remixes, and it's like a half-hour set, and the crowd goes nuts, man. Like, they definitely, like, for an opener, like, you know how it is. Like, when the opener band's on tour, it's hard to get the crowd going, right?
Right. Yeah.
Especially like an EDM show, because people aren't like dialed in. They're not. No one's had a couple drinks yet. No one's kind of like warmed up. So they're the first, act to go on.
The Molly hasn't kicked in yet.
Yeah. The Molly hasn't fully dropped, but they're like the first or second act to go on. So it takes a little bit, but no, the crowd, like, from what I've seen, they did Red Rocks, and I actually got to film that, which is really cool. Yeah.
Oh shit. Oh, dude.
Have you been there?
Yeah, I went with Of Mice.
Oh, nice. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they insane.
Did you get to film? Did you shoot there?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
dude, it's like taking candy from a baby, because any angle you get, it just looks so epic.
It's massive.
Like,
dude,
it just looks unreal. So yeah, I got to film them playing there, and they signed the wall. Like, there's that staircase that's at whatever side, I think stage left, or there's this, like,
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, there's this like dope like stairwell, and it's got the rocks on either side and bricks and stuff, and all these artists have signed it, so they got to sign the wall and stuff like that.
That's awesome.
Rocket signed the wall too. She drew a little chicken. Yeah.
A little chicken. Just real quick, did you post that video, or? Yeah,
it should be in my Golden Hearts on the Instagram there, cool. Or even on I think I posted on my page too, because I was so stoked on it.
Yeah,
I'll go check it out.
On like the show notes and stuff, I like to put links to things and whatnot. So I'll try and find certain things and throw the direct link, so people don't have to like, where do I go?
Yeah, that's great.
I mean, she's touring a lot. Mm-hmm. I'm sure. I mean, you guys are riding, or?
You know what? Things are kind of nothing's really happening right now for the band. It's pretty we're actually gonna have a phone call on Monday or Tuesday. Just kind of talking about like where we want to go with things, and yeah, we'll see. I can't really like say too much about it, but like,
yeah. Don't want to put me in a tight spot there.
No, it's all right. Yeah, I definitely, our fans have kind of been asking about it too. And
I can imagine.
Yeah, it's kind of, like things are sort of up in the air, and I don't think we've ever been in this position as a band. Like it's always been like, put a record out, tour, until people are sick of it. Okay, put another record out, tour. And you know what? It's 2020, man. Like things are different. Things have been different. And we've noticed that with the last couple tours that like, you can't really do things conventionally anymore. So we're going to try to step outside the box, going to try to see what exactly the future is for the band. We don't know. So yeah, we'll see. Right. See how it goes.
Yeah. So while I'm sure Rocket likes that one of you is home for a longer period of time.
Yeah, totally. It's been like my main focus is been the videography side of things, and just improving and getting better and getting clients and getting work while I'm home, which doesn't really, it's kind of like the band where it doesn't feel like work. It feels like I'm just being creative. I'm having fun. Right? Yeah.
Make, it's not work, if you're stoked to go out and do it, like
totally. Yeah.
And because I had some notes written down, and I was definitely wanted to talk about all your video stuff, because I keep seeing you do more and more of it. And the last time I was out with you guys, we talked a bunch, and from then I'd just been seeing your stuff like progressively get just better and better, which you were damn good to start with. So I was like, damn, all right, you're gonna start going out with all the bands instead.
Thanks, dude. I appreciate it, man. No, I've definitely been offered some tours, and I had to kind of turn it. Yeah, I've turned down a few things just because I like being home.
I can imagine.
Yeah, I like being home. Like me and Rocket and Lights, especially when all three of us are home. It's kind of like it's such a treat. But it
doesn't happen that often.
Yeah. So just being here and being dad has been great. And Rocket's been we're doing school with her. We're doing homeschool.
Okay. So you're the teacher?
Yeah, you know what? Like I'm not like as great at it as I thought I was going to be. Like the curriculum there, I just sort of like, what? It's teaching me patience, and it's teaching me like this whole other. Cool. Yeah, it's kind of like teaching me this whole other skill that I never really had, or I didn't think I had. Where I'm just trying to like figure out how to make things make sense to her, and how to explain things that like I haven't had to explain, right? Like things that like you don't think about. You don't think about like why the letter C makes a K and a S at the same time. Like, why is that? I don't know. And I'm like trying to explain to her.
I don't know.
I'm like, it just does it,
It just does.
and it's kind of, it's opened up this other part of my brain where it's like, okay, how do I explain something to somebody who has literally no idea or concept of this? Like,
damn.
So it's been like a lot of that, and I'm trying to figure out how to get this information across to her and how she could absorb it, right? And how I can't be frustrated, and even though I do get frustrated at times, and I see a lot of myself in her as far as like when I was in school, I was just like, okay, when is this thing over? I want to like, get out and play.
Me too.
You know what I mean? I think it's most kids, but like there's some kids that academically like they do great, and they're like they go on to become doctors and lawyers. They love that. But I was the opposite. I was like, I need to be creative. I need to play. Mm-hmm. I need to have fun. I need to like use energy. I have so much energy. I just need to get out of this desk. Like get outside. Yeah. So I see that. Cool. I see that in her, and I try to like empathize with her and be like, I know, like this can be tough, but I'm like, knowledge is power. If if you're out there and you're smarter than everyone else, and these things, like you're not going to get, things aren't going to fly over your head. It's just, you're going to be sharp, and you need this, I'm trying to like explain.
Right. Yeah.
And she claims she wants to be an astronaut. She's 5.
Really?
So, I think everyone at 5 wants to go to space, but she wants to go to space. So I'm like, you can't go to space unless you learn that like a C can make a S and a cuss sound. That's the way it works.
That's the way it works. If you don't know that, you can't go to space.
Yeah, you can't.
Deal breaker.
It's in the rules, okay?
So like, say, okay, I don't know. Let's see here. So in school, like there's detention. So like, and then I'm sure, if outside of the school hours that you guys do, if she does something like time, I don't know. How old is she?
She's 5. She'll be 6 in like 2 weeks.
So you guys do like the whole timeouts or grounded or timeouts? So how do you like,
you know what? Yeah.
That's
funny you brought that up.
Like,
yeah, yeah, you're right. I guess they're essentially one and the same at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you're home, so timeout is detention. Yeah, we did the timeout thing for a while. Like we've never done like the spanking thing, even though I was raised kind of on that old school way of things. Yeah, like my dad would snap the belt at me, and I'd be like, "Oh God!" Like you would just send shivers down my spine if I hear that to this day. But no, I was never like that being said, he never like hit me, right? It was mainly threats and maybe like a spanking like once, you know what I mean? But I think the threats were always good enough for me, right? Like I would snap back into it.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's like, I'll do whatever you say. I'm sorry. So for us, we're pretty lucky because Rocket doesn't like to be in trouble. She's like plain and simple, doesn't like to get in trouble. So
smart kid.
Our threats have always been like, you're going to be in trouble if you do this. And she's like, oh God. And
I don't want to be in trouble.
Right. And so we've done the timeout like when she was younger and she went through like the terrible threes where they weren't even terrible, but she had the moments where she would just full on break down. Yeah. And we did the timeout where I'd go sit her and there was like a spot in her room with like a little beanbag in the corner, and I'd be like, sit there and you can't come play. Like you got to sit there for 5 minutes. And she like, it would break her heart. Right. Like, and so that was good enough. Obviously things will probably get, things change and get crazier. The more she realizes that she has more power than she knows, like that's when things will get tough, when she's like, well, I don't have to sit here. I'm just going to fucking, what are you going to do about it? Like, what are you going to do if I don't? Like, you know what I mean? And so we've she has her iPad and she loves her iPad and she'll go on there and play different games and watch shows on YouTube Kids and stuff like that. And so that's a big one. Like if you don't do this, the iPad is going away. Like, oh shoot.
Soul crushing.
Yeah. So, we have our tactics, and I think things will probably have to evolve as she gets older, but she's a good kid, man. Like that being said, like we got really, really lucky, and man, I don't know if we would have another one, because I can't imagine like us getting lucky to like literally hitting the lottery twice. It's impossible. And I always hear that too. Like there's always the one kid who's like the perfect kid, like that sleeps through the night as a baby, that does. And then there's like the other kid that's like the fucking mess, And and everyone's special in their own way. Like not saying like I wouldn't still love my kid if they were like that, but there's definitely the one kid who's like, like our manager has I think he's got 2, and he's the same way. He's like the first one, she's just a force to be reckoned with, period. Right. Like she's an alpha female. Like she knows what she wants. She can't, it's hard to tell her no. And then the second kid, he's like, dude, this kid's just an angel. Like he's this kid does everything we ask, sleeps through the night. Like, hardly cries ever, is always smiling. You know what I mean? Like, so part of me is like, man,
You're like, do I want to test this? Do I want to try? Like,
like I think we're good. So we'll see.
But going off of just the timeout thing, so bringing that from like the regular life, I guess, but then the school aspect of it, like if she doesn't complete something within a certain time that she's supposed, you'd get in trouble if you didn't do homework bring it in the next day, or if like you keep our. Well, it's hard to be tardy because it's it's at home. But how does like timeouts that you do from like outside of the, I guess, the school hours versus say she is messing around when she's supposed to be focusing? Like, all right, go to the beanbag or no iPad? Is it kind of the same punishment? Yeah,
it's the same punishment. It's basically like the no iPad is brought in. Like I wouldn't go like put her in the corner if she wasn't focusing. I would just literally be like, the iPad's gone for the night, like for the day. And she'll be like, no, Dad. And like snap back into it. But yeah, no, like I said, the whole, I see so much of myself in her when she's sort of getting distracted. And like, for example, like she'll be doing math and she'll be like 24 plus 3 and she'll like be sitting there like adding it. And it'll take so long because she's like every number that she's drawing, she's like making it like a character. Like she's making like if it's like if it's a 0, she's drawing arms on the 0 and putting little eyes with like fangs and crazy hair and legs. And then the number 2, she's making it a dragon with like spikes on it and stuff. And I'm like, dude, it's not art class right now. Like I am, you know what I mean? I'm like, that's very creative. And I have I have no doubt in my mind. Like she draws like almost every day. She'll sit and draw something cool. And it's hard to save everything because I'm like, it's like piles and piles. So I have no doubt in my mind, like that she's extremely creative, but it's like, I have to like explain like, man, like, there's a time for that. And like, we just need to like finish your math. Like it's taking so long because she's drawing.
Like the sooner you do your math, then you can go draw whatever you want. Like,
exactly. Yeah. So, it's kind of a arbitrary thing to like complain about, but like that's sort of like when I get in like my little frustrated modes, it's like when she's taking so long to do something because of something like that. So I can't really complain because that, you know what I mean? I think back in the day in like, the 80s where kids were just like, it was all like academic and there was not much room for art and stuff like that. Those kids were probably stifled, you know what I mean? There's probably so many artists that we missed out on because their parents or teachers or whatever kind of stifled that artistic side of them. So we definitely don't do that. So we definitely want that to grow. But yeah, it's a thin line between like art and like, hey man, like fucking we gotta finish your math. This is taking an hour. Yeah.
Well, that's cool. I don't think I ever knew that you guys were doing that. That's really cool.
Yeah. It was just sort of a decision we kind of made. And our Lights' sister is a homeschool teacher, so she helped put together our whole program. And so in the corner of our living room is like all these buckets, like these drawers of like math, science, social studies, journal. That's cool. Yeah, so we have all her schoolwork kind of in a corner, and they're like little workbooks. Most of them are like really cool workbooks. So it's I'm dreading the day where I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what, like it's getting to like some crazy mathematic thing that I'd be out don't remember. Quick. Right? Like just division alone. I'm like, I don't remember. Yeah. Like I just don't remember how to do it. Like we've had calculators for so long. It's like I haven't had to like sit there and like manually like divide something. So exactly. it would or like decimal points and things like that. Like, oh yeah. I feel like that's so archaic at this point. Like there's not one person that doesn't have a calculator or on their phone, right? Oh, well, I mean,
she's got the iPad. There's a calculator on that too.
Oh yeah.
Like, I use mine almost every day. Like at the gym, I'm like looking at the barbell and the plates. And I know like sometimes there's certain, like when I'm squatting or deadlifting, I know like 3 plates in the bars, 315 and 4 is 405, blah, 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 blah. But like, anything besides that, I'm like, okay, so the bar is 45 and then I got 240, like I'm doing this calculator math. I'm like, damn, I should have paid attention back in school and
I feel you.
Or anything. I'm like,
That's so funny. So are you in the gym quite often now?
Oh,
is that like an everyday thing? Okay, cool.
Oh yeah. Like when I wasn't on tour and I was at home, like I am now, I mean 6-7 days a week.
Nice.
Sometime, yesterday I got off work early and I went again. So some days twice, Especially now that I mean, I'm taking a big step back from touring. Just kind of hit that like burnt
The
out,
wall.
like
Yeah,
the wall,
yeah.
and like I was like, okay, I just need to like chill. And I love working out so much that like I'd get in like insane shape within like 2 months, and then it's like, all right, well now I got to go leave for a month or two, and then it just gets lost, and then start back over. So
Yeah.
now it's just time to get completely just
dialed in. Yeah.
Scary.
Cool. Just ripped.
Oh, it's about to get gnarly.
Yeah, that's so funny.
So there, I mean, that's kind of what I'm doing now.
Nice.
Just still doing photo, video, freelance stuff. I'm doing a video project right now for the band I was just out with. The last one. Nothing more. So we're just working on something for them, and it needs freelance stuff here and there, but having this full-time job every, it's, and then working out there, that only leaves me the weekends to really do anything. So
totally. Yeah.
But it's a nice change.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. I'm trying to get in the gym too. It's been a while, and I haven't had a reason, but now I'm like, you know what? Like I just want to like shoot the puck faster and harder, and I want to be able to skate faster. It's just personal reason. I was like, I just want to be better out, and getting, as you get older, you start realizing like, man, like you start, apparently if you don't, the rule is like, if you don't use it, you lose it. So when you start getting older, you start losing muscle and stuff like that. So I'm like, you know what? It's probably time. Like I'm going to hit the gym a bit, and I don't think I'm going to go too hard with it, but I got proteins and, I usually try to watch what I eat as far as like making sure you get enough protein intake and like all my veggies and things like that. So I'm also doing like probably 90% vegetarian, I'd say.
Okay.
Yeah. Just, I went the last Warped Tour we did towards the end of it. I just went veggie. I was like, you know what? Like, cause they serve you chicken and meat every day. You know how it goes?
Yeah,
like,
it gets a little boring.
Like I felt like my body was just like, stop eating this. Like
it
was just totally like something that I felt like I could listen to my body, and I just felt like, man, this doesn't feel good.
No.
So I stopped. I went veggie, and then I watched that What the Health documentary, and I was like, oh my God, I'm never going to eat meat again. This is crazy. And so I went pretty hard with it for quite a few months. I didn't go vegan or anything, but I was just like, no more meat.
Yeah.
And I realized like I lost a lot of like, and like, I don't know what the sort of scientific and like medical, aspect of it is, but I used to have like very sore knees just from hockey and skating and jumping around on stage and jumping off really high things on stage. I would have like super sore ankles and sore knees. They would get like, there was like lots of inflammation, and I'd be done with the show, and like my ankles were just like sore, my knees. I'm like, dude, this sucks, whatever. So, I feel like cutting out all that meat helped.
Interesting. Really interesting. Huh.
I think I'm just thinking about like the changes I made.
Well, yeah. I mean,
and that was one of the major changes was my diet. And then I realized like, man, I haven't had like any joint issues in so long. Like I've been pretty good. So, I'm kind of just chalking it up to that. So
I mean, if it works, it works.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I've slowed down on it, and, just doing my research as far as like, where do you get your proteins? Like where are you getting like your B12 and things like that?
Yeah.
And so I supplement B12 and especially like I watched like the Game Changer.
I was going to say I watched that, and I did. I came back from this tour, and I did a month of plant-based.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So I had B12, all that.
Yeah. It's awesome. And like I watched the whole sort of debate between the one of the producers or creators of Game Changers. He debated with this other dude who tried to debunk the whole documentary.
On Joe Rogan?
On Joe Rogan, yeah. Did you watch that?
Yeah.
So I was like, man, like this dude is just crushing this guy. And he's not, and he's also like, it's pretty cool because he's also like, hey man, like I'm not saying you need to be vegan. He's like, most people that are vegan are assholes. Like, as far as like,
Right.
they act like it's a religion, and they're super arrogant, and they're like, they try to like make you feel like, you know, they try to tear you down, and they're pretty aggressive, right? Like most like hardcore vegans. And so the guy was very much like, man, you can get good protein and things from, if you're eating grass fed, if you're eating the specific safe kind of meat, you know what I mean? Like, and most people don't know where they're getting their meat from. They're sort of eating it, right? They're just like,
right,
I have a burger from here or a steak from here or whatever. They're not doing any sort of research. They're not going out and buying, researching, making sure that this certain specific meat is actually grass fed, is free range, everything else. But he was cool because he was pretty like unbiased in that, like, he said, yeah, you can do it, but you have to eat grass fed, free range. Like, it's got to be specific, no hormones, things like that. And so that, I thought that was kind of cool. It kind of like made me realize, like, this dude doesn't have a vegan agenda, right? Like, he's just sort of like, he was pretty fair, right? Like, and he was just like, listen, like, I'm just going to try to school this dude on the fact that you can have a healthy diet and you can get everything you need from a plant-based diet if you follow, the rules, right? Like, if you eat the right things. Because some people go, I'm vegan, and then they eat French fries for dinner because there's nothing else. I'm like,
I don't
like, you're missing the point
here. Yeah, that's
not
no.
Yeah. So no, I thought it was cool. I definitely like I definitely have cut a lot of meat out, and I will have like a burger as a novelty. Like, if we're at like a nice burger place, if we're at a nice place that's like, oh man, you got to try these, and they're like, and you read the menu and it's like, all our meat is grass fed and blah blah blah, and then you're like okay, cool, like stuff. This seems legit. Okay, like whatever, I'll have a burger, but I don't crave it like I did at first. At first, I definitely craved it, and I wanted bacon. Like, if I smelled bacon, I was like, just dying. I was like, this sucks. I need bacon.
So hard. Like, I'll like, I could probably eat bacon right now, and if I go in the kitchen and I smell bacon, I'll probably want more again.
Yeah.
Bacon. Yeah, bacon's not fair. But
it's not fair, man. But there's a lot of really cool alternatives and things that taste close to it, Right. But I think it's the way we grew up, man. It's the way we were raised on this diet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Maybe. Do you like tofu at all?
Some tofu. I don't like this. I don't like it when it's super spongy. I like when it's like if you cut it kind of thin and like toss it in a pan and flavor it,
What you should try, and I like all tofu, like I think it's silken that you get in like the miso soup to like the extra firm, all of it. One way I like to do it is get the like firm or extra firm and cut it into those little slices, maybe half an inch.
Okay.
And then what you do is you get cornstarch and you season the cornstarch. With whatever. I like to put like garlic, salt, some cayenne pepper, salt, pepper, and then you just put the tofu in there and you coat it. And then in a pan you get like I think you use like peanut oil or vegetable oil. I think peanut oil is a little bit better because you get some of that extra flavor. And then you just kind of fry it and it crisps up that the cornstarch.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, so the inside's nice and warm and or hot and it's cooked, and then the outside you got that crunch, dude.
That sounds awesome.
So good. It turns a little bit of a golden brown on the outside. Like, it's really good. You should give it. It's so easy to make. Yeah,
I'm trying that. That sounds so good.
It's so good. It's really good.
I like that kind of tofu.
Yeah, and it's like, it's, you kind of get that, like, that feeling that you're eating, it is essentially fried, but it's like, you're not eating fried chicken from KFC, but that crisp is kind of like something in your brain is like, oh, ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, we're sort of like, I know what you mean. It kind of it feeds that appetite that you have, or just that like texture or whatever. I know what you mean. Totally know what you're talking about. Have you ever tried? I tried tempeh bacon.
I haven't tried that before.
It's pretty. It does now. It's nothing like bacon, but like
just in general, I've never tried that.
Oh, okay, no, it's good, man. There's like I got this one that's sort of like it's like a hickory smoked kind of thing. And if I make like scrambled eggs or something like that, like I'll toss that in it and like just kind of like mix it all up or eat it on the side or whatever. And it's so good. Yeah, it's really good flavor. But yeah, that's you should try that sometime.
I will. There's another one that I want to try that it's supposed to like, I think I see it a lot when they mimic like pulled pork and stuff. Like, was it jackfruit?
Oh, jackfruit, dude.
Have you?
Got it. Jackfruit's so good.
Yeah. Is it like, I mean, obviously it's not going to be pulled pork or whatever they mimic, but like,
dude, it's so like, good.
Really?
Lights made this like tortilla soup. And instead of chicken, it was jackfruit, and it was so good. Like if you don't eat meat, or if you eat meat and you had some of that, you would probably be fooled. It would be like, is it? It's almost like a super really? Soft chicken. It's so good, man. Yeah, I love it. And then people, I've had pulled pork with it and stuff like that. It does have like a, like obviously it doesn't have the same sort of stringy, chewiness as like meat would, but you're eating it and you're like, okay, it's got barbecue sauce all over it. It's like slathered in there. It doesn't really matter what it is at that point.
Damn, I'll have to try that.
It's
that was
great.
one I see everywhere. The tempeh, tempeh. I don't know. I don't see that often. But I do see the jackfruit all the time. Yeah,
jackfruit's great. I love it. Yeah, totally.
One thing that I do love, and it's just so packed with protein, it's insane, is the edamame.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, soy, but it's like, I was looking at it, I was like, holy crap. Like a cup of this? Damn.
Good amount. Yeah, you know what? I've been doing like hemp hearts, like with my shakes and like in my granola, and I think like 2 tablespoons is like 7 grams of protein or something like that, which is kind of cool. It's just like an extra, it's an extra little boost or whatever if you're trying. So I've kind of just been finding, things like if I do, I'll have like 2 slices of peanut butter toast or whatever, and it's like that's like, I don't know, 14 grams or something like
something decent.
Yeah, something decent between the toast and the peanut butter and stuff like that. So, you find ways, and if that's what you're concerned about, right? If you're like, man, I just want to get my protein in, like there are ways to do it. Like there are great powders out there to make your smoothies with. You know what I mean? There's so
PB2 or something. I think that's something that I always have around here. That PB2, that peanut butter powder.
Yeah, and I think that we're living in a great era right now where we have all these like, they know that people want delicious things, and they also want to, live a certain lifestyle, right? Like the vegetarian lifestyle. It's like, so the demand is there. So there's so many great things to have, but yeah, sweet.
I'm just a sucker for really good protein powder.
Oh yeah.
It's so good.
That's so good.
And I just ran out 2 days ago, and it's like I don't want to go like buy more because it's a pain in the ass, but I have to do it.
Yeah.
Gains.
Yeah, you gotta do it.
But I just totally flipped the script because I don't want to forget. But so your Golden Hearts, the media stuff. I saw. I think you posted on your story. Your Instagram story, doing something. It looked like a drone.
Yeah.
Something with your drone, and it seemed like you reposted it from someone else. Are you doing like real estate stuff?
Yeah. I'm sort of like a jack of all trades right now.
Yeah.
So I'll do. It's funny because like it was just something that I always wanted to get into, just because I felt like I need to explore every avenue, and if I want to have this sort of transition into like, my new job or whatever, like I need to be able to do all sorts of, different types of videos, right? Not just like, I can't just like do one thing, pigeonhole myself or whatever. So, I've been doing, real estate videos. So I'll do like these walkthroughs of the home, and like a lot of people want like drone stuff, especially if there's like acreage or property. Yeah. So I'll do that, and then I've been shooting like brand content for different brands. So I did this like jean jacket brand that this girl does. There's a lot of entrepreneurs out here in like small businesses, which is really rad. And they all kind of stick together. They all kind of know each other. So once I started doing stuff for, there's a kids clothing brand called Little and Lively. And then there's this kids shoe company called Mini Mock. And they're sort of transitioning into an adult shoe company. And I'm doing all of their content videos, right? They want to do sort of like almost like real time, like this is us becoming like a big shoe company. And they bought these massive machines and everything. So I've been doing these companies, and then slowly but surely everyone they repost about me, and, people hit me up like, hey, I saw your Little and Lively video.
Sick.
Like, what do you charge? Blah, blah, blah. So, so I've just been stepping into all sorts of stuff. And I think I shot like a little music video for my wife for her, like acoustic song she put out like last summer or whatever it was.
Oh, cool.
And so that was sort of like, it wasn't like a big budget or anything. I didn't have any. It was like me and my buddy John was like, his dad owns like a sawmill. So we shot at the sawmill just because it was such a rad background, like location. Yeah. And, I rented a couple like lights. I had some LEDs, some cool LEDs, and like a really cool spotlight because I wanted to like backlight her and do these really intimate like backlit shots with also like another like spotlight kind of shot in like a different location. So I had some stuff, but I say music video. I just feel like I know what goes into a music video, and it didn't feel like we were shooting a music video, but like it came out really rad, and it was a great opportunity. And Fueled by Ramen, paid me, so it was really cool to work with like a label. You know what I mean? Like it just felt like a step in the right direction. So
that's cool.
Yeah, and just doing the live music stuff. I'm doing also doing these documentaries on touring drummers. So
I saw. I don't know if it was the last time I saw you, but you came. I was out with. I forget who I was with, but Under Oath, and you filmed. Oh
yeah, you were with Dance Gavin Dance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know who I was with. I don't. Jeez.
That's right. Yeah.
But yeah, you were okay. Yeah. And I watched that video. You sent me the link. It was really good. Like, are you?
Thanks, man. Yeah. So I have a whole series. No worries. Yeah, I have a whole. We put out a series. We put out 6 episodes, and it goes on. The company is called Drumeo, and they're essentially the largest online drum educational website that you could find. Like they have millions of subscribers and students, and basically it was funny because I just kind of reached out to them they were looking for someone to edit, like on Craigslist. They were like, we're looking for editors. And I kind of hit them up and was like, hey, I'm local. I'm a musician. I don't think I can take a full-time job, but I would love to like come in and see if I can do some work for you guys. So I went in, and then I was like, we started talking, and I was like, do you guys have any like, day in the life of a drummer? And they're like, well, no. I'm like, really? Like, it just seems so obvious.
Right.
Like, it just, but they're kind of like in this transitional period where they want to sort of be like the Netflix of drum schools. So they want all this content and like really entertaining content and stuff that you can't just get anywhere. And so I went out and shot Aaron Gillespie from Under Oath, and that was the first one I ever shot. Was when I saw you. So we were just literally, I was like, let's see what happens. I have sort of a vision. Like I know kind of what I want, but I really don't know what I want. So we started shooting and, had our interviews going, and I was like, okay, I got something special here, man. Like, this is cool, right? Like, this is rad. Like, I've never put anything together like that before, but I knew kind of like what I wanted it to end up looking like. Yeah. And it ended up better than I could have imagined.
Yeah. And I'm not just saying it because we're talking, but like it was I liked it a lot.
I appreciate it. I'll send you the links to the other ones because
I was gonna ask you because I want to put that in I have a bunch of tabs open with your stuff that I'm gonna put in the notes. But if you could, send me the link to that so I can pop it in there.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
I'd like to watch more too.
It's been super fun, and I think they sort of want me to just kind of keep shooting for them. So since then, I've actually shot an ad video for them, and then they want me to kind of perpetually just keep creating these episodes. So I think I want to step into I want to get some drummers in the studio. I want to get some YouTubers because I know there's some very successful YouTubers out there. There's this girl named Christina Schiano. She's from Brooklyn, and she records and films everything in her like apartment, and she does covers, and she gets like millions of plays. Like it's crazy. So
get on that for sure.
Yeah.
You'll be set.
Yeah. So it's super cool. I think that like that, or like Luke Holland, right? Like Luke Holland would be awesome.
Yeah, of course.
And it's just sort of this new wave of drummers who are entrepreneurs and who've like garnished like this following and have, you know, they've got all their own sponsors. They have, you know what I mean? Like they get paid. They've monetized their YouTube page. They're making money, and they've done it all themselves.
Crush it.
And I want other kids to see their path that they took. And
exactly.
It's just one of those things where like you want to show every aspect of like you can get there. You don't have to take the same path everyone else took. You can do something you love, and you can make a living. And there's different ways to do it. So I kind of want to showcase that. And,
Didn't Luke Holland, didn't he get into all these bands and whatnot, and just because he was doing YouTube covers?
I think so.
Right? I think that's how he started. I don't know. But that's a great idea. I dig it. That's sick.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Sweet. So yeah, we'll see where it goes. But no, just the video stuff has been another creative outlet, and I see it as kind of like my second act here. Like, besides the band, it was one of those things where a lot of people in music, in bands, especially in like our genre, they started when they were younger. They don't know anything else, right? It's always like, I just want to be in a band, like, and they'll join 12 other bands, or they'll like, and I just want to show like, man, there's more to it. Like you can explore other things, and there's nothing wrong with like wanting to live the dream and wanting to keep that dream alive. Like that's fine. I'm not like saying you shouldn't, but for me personally, like I just see it as like, okay, what's the next thing? This is something I really love, and I'm really like invested in, and I love the learning aspect. Like I love struggling with stuff and then figuring it out.
Yeah, right.
Like sitting in my, at my computer, and I'm like, I want to like do this thing, and I'll go and film, and then I'll come back and I'll sit there and I'll watch YouTube videos, and I'll try to study how it's done, and then I'll make it happen and be like, holy shit.
Like,
I did it. Like that was awesome. And how it goes with your creating and you doing all your After Effects stuff that looks so amazing. And man, I bet the learning curve's insane on that.
Dude, actually not. Okay. I mean, it's so crazy because it's like a lot of the stuff that I've been doing on After Effects, especially, or mainly, I don't really go on like YouTube videos for Premiere as much. Maybe if I don't go on it for a while, I'll be like, shit, how do I do that? But it's something I always do. But with After Effects, it was more just like, all right, learn how to do that. Great. Now I got to learn to do this, which is harder when I just did. And going into like coding and all this stuff, like,
oh man,
dude, it's insane. But like, there's a couple that I made, which is like a never ending staircase.
Sick.
There's this other one that I made. There's something called the trefoil knot.
Okay.
It's pretty insane. I'll send you like a little GIF of it or something. But it's all based off of like, there was like I had to input like a mathematical equation. And then so like all these things. So just the fact that I had to bring math into my whole thing, I was like, I hate this. But I love this because it's working. And then like I got halfway through and something wasn't working right. It like half of it was showing.
Yeah.
And just because the mathematical equation was so certain, and my time,
the number.
Well, that and my timeline. I think let's say my timeline was 10 seconds. Yeah. But in order for this equation to work and loop around and everything perfectly, it had to be like, say, 20 seconds. So after like 2 hours of me fooling around and messing with this and literally like getting halfway and be like, why is this not working? Completely quitting, starting over. So like, it was literally like at least 2 hours. And then I looked at my timeline and I was like, oh, I only have 10-second slot. And I extended it out to 20 and it was perfect.
Oh man.
No, but also so happy. I was,
yeah, that's crazy.
But it's fun. You doing After Effects at all?
No, I haven't been able to dive into that. There's a few things I definitely want to do first, and I don't know if I'll ever dive into After Effects. I don't have the same desire as I do learning sort of video effects and learning like lighting and staging of, you know what I mean? Like just, I would love to shoot a short film this year, even if it sucks. Like, I just want to go do it. No. And I know it's probably going to suck. No. And I'm just like, and so, I have, there's a couple different opportunities I have. Like there's this rapper, and he lives not too far away, and he's super successful, like independent rapper. He does everything himself, and he books his own tours and everything else. And, he's rad. He's like an older dude. Like, it's like near my age, but like he's been doing it forever. So him and I kind of hooked up, and he's like, dude, we'll do a video. And I was like, man, I would love to shoot like kind of a short film with you, and with your music, obviously, like, scoring the whole thing. So so I have like a few ideas. We'll see. We'll see where it goes. But, I just want to create something like that, and just to see if I can do it, and just to see to get my chops down, and like see the work that gets put into it, and figure out where my mistakes are going to be. Cause inevitably there will be mistakes. There are going to be things that I look back and say like, fuck, I wish I would have done this. And it happens with everything I do, which is crazy. Like I'll edit something and like, and I'll like look back and be like, man, I wish I just would have like held that shot a little longer. I would have done this, or like the color's off on this. Why didn't I sit there and work on the color, So that's one of the things I did with my reel. Like I just put my reel together of all my highlights from last year. And I was like, I was kind of like, this is my time to be very meticulous, and this is my time to be anal about it, because I want this to showcase the very best of what I can do thus far. So I really like, it sounds stupid, but like part of Kobe, who's like Kobe Bryant, like my role model, like passed away, and I've been watching all these videos of him, just talking about like perfecting your craft, and talking about, why would you put anything out that isn't perfect? Like, it's never going to be perfect, but, and sort of just like his drive. And honestly, that a lot of that, I would have been done with my reel in like a day. I would have been like, here's all my highlights. But like,
exactly.
It took like 4 or 5 days to like sit there, and I would see, I would see like one little thing I didn't like, and probably another day I probably would have just let it slide. I'm like, no one's going to notice that. But I'm like, you would, no, I have to like, I have to like be a perfectionist about this. So I really, really dove in, and it felt great. Like I feel like I've been getting such good feedback from it, and people are just hitting me up like, yo man, I saw your thing online, like holy shit, you're getting better. I'm like, thanks dude. Like
such a good feeling.
It's such a great feeling, man. It is super fulfilling to create something out of nothing. And I think I'm always going to be that way. Like, I don't know what the like next, part of my life is going to be 20 years down the road. But like right now, like it's so fulfilling to just create. Create. It's so cool.
You got it all. I mean, you got endless content. Not only, does Lights, creative, you got your daughter, you got all the sports and everything, and then just your random, stuff that you do with your drone and stuff. So it's like, man, I think you're set for more than 20,
oh, thanks,
with
dude.
just anything. So, I mean, hell, even if you just do random stuff with either Lights or Rocket, it's like you got lifetime stuff there.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, we actually got to work on a few projects. I don't know if you ever saw, like, she put out an acoustic album, and we recorded. She recorded out in the elements, right? And all the locations.
I remember you telling me about this, actually.
Okay, yeah, it's
with Telly. Remember driving back from Arizona?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think we went to. I don't know if did we go to the desert?
The desert somewhere, I think.
Okay.
Well, that's what I vaguely remember. I don't know if. I don't know.
yeah. No, we so we finished the whole series, and it was like, I think 6 different locations, and they lined up the locations. Lined up with the certain locations in her comic book. So she wanted them to look as similar as possible. Mm-hmm. So we did one on a cliff side. We did one by a river. We did one in like a truck bed, like the bed of an old truck, because it was like a truck that looks just like the truck in her comic. It's like this old like Chevy or whatever. Sick. And then we did one out in the desert, and I'm trying to think. One in the rain. I think that was, yeah.
Where are these at?
So most of them were out here in BC, and then the desert one was like in Death Valley, at a place called Racetrack Playa, and it's just, she's so crazy. She's like, did all her research. She's like, all right, these are the 2 places we can go. There's like Utah and there's Death Valley, and like she's showing me. She's like she's doing like an A/B of like her comic and then the place online. She's like, what looks more accurate? And she like literally is like, I'll go to anywhere as long as it has to look the most accurate to the comic. And I'm like, all right, like the Death Valley one looks cool. And so that's when she was like, all right, we're going to rent a car. We're going to drive 6 hours, and then we're going to rent a Jeep, and we're going to drive off road for 2 hours. It's literally like we drove off road for 10 miles an hour off road in this Jeep. And, yeah, it was so fun. Like we were out in the middle of nowhere. Like it was so sick. Like I would love to go back and just like,
you should
do it again. But yeah, we were out there, and it's just funny because we didn't see a single car the whole time. And we get out there and we're like, there's no cars, no one around. She's like, man, I gotta pee. I'm like, well, this is the spot. Like,
yeah,
like let it rip. And so she goes like behind the Jeep, and a freaking car pulls out from like behind, like around the corner. I'm like, what?
Oh, wow.
It's literally like, it's been hours since we've seen anyone. And like, oh, it's just so funny. We're like, of course this happens. Right. But no, so those came out really cool, man. Like they're, they're on her Instagram and on the Golden Hearts Instagram. I'm pretty sure every episode's on the Golden Hearts Instagram. Like if you just scroll back, you can find them.
Okay, cool. So they're all cool.
Yeah, they're all out there. I think I just want to like put them all back to back, and then just like, so she can post them on YouTube and have them all in one place, so someone can watch like a long YouTube video of all of them. And they're all like,
oh, dude, yeah, you should do that. Yeah. That'll kill it.
Yeah, they're only a minute long. So like, each one's a minute. This is before like IGTV was a thing. Yeah. So everything was 1 minute.
Right. Well, remember when it used to be 15 seconds? Goodness, that was terrible.
I know. It was crazy. You're like, okay, I got to think of a piece of content that's 15 seconds long, like that's going to capture someone's attention. Like this is crazy.
And now we're spoiled and have a minute.
I know. And
then IGTV.
Yeah, IGTV can be as long as you want, and it can be any size file. Like they can take. Yeah, it's pretty sick. I love it. I think it's great. It took me a while.
I've never used it.
Oh, dude, it's so.
I mean, I've watched stuff, but I've never personally like had my own content on it. I probably should have, but
yeah, it's just as good. Like it's funny because Lights was very apprehensive to putting. Mm-hmm. She's like, well, I don't know if like people are gonna. I'm like, dude, people are gonna watch it. Like just throw it up there. Like let me show you. Right. I kind of had to show her how to do it, and she was just worried like it wouldn't get as many views or whatever the case was. And I'm like, people are watching your stuff. Like don't worry about that.
Don't worry. Yeah, I think you'll be just fine.
Yeah. So it's a great tool, man. I think no, we're definitely in like a golden era of just like of content and creation, and there's so many tools out there that are easy to use for people. And you know, like you can go out there and literally you could buy a 4K camera for like,
dude, it's insane,
$600.
Oh, dude, it's ridiculous.
It's just
like
crazy.
4K is the standard now.
Oh, totally. Like it has to be. Like there's certain clients who are like, it has to be shot in 4K. I'm like, okay.
Oh no.
Gotcha.
Poor computer.
Yeah.
Oh man. What are you shooting with?
So I use a Sony A7S II.
Okay, cool.
And it shoots 4K and 24 frames per second. But if you want to go 60 frames per second, it converts to 1080. So that's kind of the next thing is I don't want to be the guy who's so always worried about gear. Mm-hmm. Like I just, those kind of, I don't know, people that are like that literally have to buy all the brand name gear and are like, concerned about it. But honestly, like I know that it's time for a bit of an upgrade. So that's kind of going to be my next thing, is just trying to figure out which camera. It's kind of a toss up between the Blackmagic 6K or the pocket camera or or waiting for the Sony A7S III to come out. So
dude,
yeah,
I mean, just me personally, like I rented just the wait, did you just say the just A7 III? Isn't that already out?
No, there's a A7 III out, but there's I'm using A7S II.
Okay, it's the A7S III. Okay.
It's supposed to be the A7S III that's supposed to come out. And so the rumor is that, I don't know, people are going to like check out because I'm going to get real like techie and weird, but the rumor is that like the Blackmagic Pocket 6K came out. It's like $2,500 or something. And it offers like, you can shoot 60 or 120 frames per second at 4K, blah, blah, blah. And there's like a million different aspect ratios to choose from. And it's just super affordable. And I think I think Sony saw that come out and we're like, fuck, okay, we can't put something out that does less and costs more. We have to put something out that's comparable. So I think originally the camera, the A7S III, was supposed to come out a few months ago. And I think they pushed it just to make sure that they put the proper tech in it and they have the right specs and price point for people to even, bother buying it. So, so I think that's kind of what they went back to the drawing board with it. And I would assume that they would come out with something that's comparable to that if they want to make money.
I would imagine.
Because, I think that like there's the Sony heads who will buy everything Sony. And that's kind of how I was Canon. And then the second I started using Sony for video, I was like, oh man, I can't look back now. And the price point's insane for the cameras for what they do. So we'll see what happens. But I think my next step is definitely trying to upgrade a little bit. Yeah. And step in that game up a little.
I can't wait to see which one you get.
Mm-hmm. I'll let you know.
Yeah, definitely. Because I've heard, the A7S III, I only heard about it, but the Blackmagic, I've heard great things. So
yeah, it looks great. It looks it's the most affordable cinema camera you can get right now. Like, oh yeah, it's just the price point's insane, and I think it's basically Netflix approved, right? So like if you shoot with the Pocket 6K, the one that came out, like you can essentially have Netflix quality material and footage. Yeah, so you can go.
There you go.
I know. Now I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, right.
It's just my arrogance where I'm always like, cool. So I'm gonna shoot something that's gonna go on Netflix. That's why I need it.
Hey, honestly, dude. I mean, like, you have a great following. Lights has a great following. You just do a little doc of her.
True.
Netflix.
Yeah, that's true. I should start.
Anyway, but I'm just saying because she has a large following. But
yeah.
All right. So that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, I'll wait and see if you post about it. That means you got on Instagram. You got the A7S III. But if I see you, pop up on Netflix, I'll know which one you got.
You're like, oh, okay, you went with the Blackmagic.
All right. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, okay. So you got the Blackmagic. Okay, cool. All right. All right.
It's hilarious.
And then, the other one's like Hulu or something for the summer.
Yeah. They don't care.
Oh, man. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm stoked to see which one because both are sick. I did want to bring it up, and you did mention it slightly, and also just because I'm looking at I got your Instagram, I have a bunch of pages up here, but you made a post about it, but I just wanted to quickly talk about the whole Kobe thing, because I know you're a huge fan, and I'm sure, well, a fan in a different aspect more than just like him as a player, but it seemed like he meant more to you than just an legend of a player, right? Like I tried it was a long post, but then you posted one with Rocket watching the game from shot from behind and stuff like that. So I kind of wanted to just ask how you feel about it, and maybe if there's anything that he kind of taught you in a way, or anything, I mean.
Yeah. I grew up watching him, and my mom's a huge Lakers fan. We grew up, I was kind of a little bit too young to get really into Magic Johnson, but my mom loved Magic Johnson, and she bought me like videotapes of him, like documentaries of Magic, and my mom and I would always watch Laker games together, and my grandma, same thing, huge Lakers fan. And then Kobe came into the scene, and everyone was like, "Whoa, who's this kid?" Right. And as he became more of a superstar, we became more fans. And there's a funny short story of like when I was playing hockey, and we would practice where the Kings practice, because we were the junior Kings. So it was the same facility. It was called the Toyota Center in El Segundo. And so it would be half of the building was hockey, and half of it was Lakers facility. That's cool. Yeah. And so my mom would sit at the window, and there would be like blinds, like they closed the blinds so you couldn't like see the Lakers, right? Like they're trying to but right. My mom would peek through like the pinholes of the blinds. Like, like blinds aren't completely like as in black everything out. So they got the pinholes. So my mom would be staring through these pinholes, and just for a glimpse, and then she'd freak, like, I see Kobe. She'd like freak out. So she would do that. And man, I remember she bought a jar of Nutella. This is before any of us knew what Nutella was. We didn't know what Nutella was. Shit. This is like, 1998 or 99 or something, right? And because Kobe was on the jar. And then we realized this is actually delicious. And so, so my mom was a huge fan. Obviously I was a huge fan, and it was, it was just basketball at first, where you were just like, oh, cool. Like he's like the second coming of Michael Jordan, and he's winning all these championships for our city. And, and then as I got older, it sort of changed into like, man, this dude is really a role model, like the way he is with his family. Right. And the way he sort of, he's not perfect. He had his issues, and the way he worked through adversity and stuck with his family, and his family stuck by him, and his work ethic. You start hearing these crazy stories. Like people are just telling these stories of like, like Team USA, we had practice schedule at 6 a.m. or whatever the case is, 8 a.m. And we get to the gym, and we'd like show up with our backpacks, and Kobe would already be in a full sweat. Yeah. And he'd be like, "Oh, nice you guys to show up." Like, right. And then there were stories of him, like, when he shot these air balls in the playoffs against Utah. He was like, I think he was probably like 19 or 20, and he had these like 3 air balls, like completely blew it. He was trying to win the game. Right. And he flew home. They flew home that night. And he went straight to his high school gym, or not his high school, but the local high school gym, because he had the keys for it, and just went straight to the gym and shot, like 1,000 3-pointers kind of thing. And so you hear these stories of like his work ethic and him trying to take his game to a whole different level, right? Like he's studying from the greats. He would study Michael Jordan, and trying to figure out how is he getting. Where does he get his spots? Like, where does he shoot from? How does he deal with the defenders? And so just his like work ethic, right? Yeah. His meticulous, sort of neurotic, work ethic. Right. I would just apply that to my life. And I was, and then I would apply it to the way I approach the band, where like, I'm going to sit in my car till 4 a.m. writing music while everyone else is asleep, because this is going to give me the edge. Yeah. And I would do that. I would go and sit in my car for hours and just write. And then, and it's also like doing what you can with what you have and not complaining about what you don't have. And so like when I first joined Bless the Fall, I didn't have anywhere to go record music. So I was like, okay, I got this shitty laptop and GarageBand. I'm just going to sing into it. Or like I went and bought like a little recorder, like an actual, those like little mini recorders.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I don't even know what you call those things, but like little digital recorders, you could see like a reporter have or something.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah.
So I would sit there and sing into this thing, and I would, and I felt like, man, if I do what Kobe did, and I have this sort of, neurotic work ethic towards my music and my songwriting, and even going on stage and like making sure I was in shape. Like every tour, like a week leading up to the tour, I would go on these crazy runs. I would run for like miles and miles. I don't even know how far. And I would sing our set, or I would even like hum our songs, our whole set that we were going to do that tour while I was running. And then I would go to practice and then practice. And then, I'd warm up and then warm down. And so it's just like, and it was always like Kobe was like in the back of my mind, like, this is what would he do? You know what I mean? Like if he was in a band, like what would he do? Like he would do the same things. And I would study these great, musicians and learn from them and try to apply that to our music. And so, yeah, it went beyond just basketball and just being like a good basketball player. It was like it was a role model thing. And then I got to meet him, and man, I like to even ask him for a photo, because I was just like,
right. Yeah.
Where like I asked him, like, I met him in the tunnel where the Lakers at the arena, in the tunnel where they like walk into like their dressing room. I got lucky enough to like get down there, and my mom was down there with me, and I just told him how much he meant to me, and he said thank you, and I was like, you're a huge inspiration, in my whole life, and thanks for that. And he's like, thank you, and he signed my jersey and my basketball, and I asked him how he was feeling, because he had just got back from Achilles injury, right? Like he had that huge injury, and people thought he wouldn't play basketball again. But sure enough, the next day, it was his first day of practice ever, like since his injury. And I was like, how are you feeling, man? How's your leg? And he was like, I'm feeling really good, and it's like, all right, good luck with everything. And he's like, thanks. And that was it. And it was like, and I've heard these stories about how like he would sit and make people feel like they were the only person in the room when he would talk to you. And I felt that way. He was like completely focused. It wasn't like, okay, yeah, let me just sign. I gotta go, right. Man. Like my leg, like you probably haven't heard, but my leg hurts. I gotta get in there.
Like, I gotta go, man.
It could have been a million. And I've definitely been guilty of doing that too. Is like meeting fans at like a certain hour, and you're tired, and you just, guys, I gotta go, man. I'm like I'm a wreck. I'm sick, whatever the case is. And he didn't do that, right? Like he was very like, he stopped. We had this conversation for a sec. He signed my stuff. He, it felt like he was there with you for that moment. He wasn't like, it wasn't a passing thing, right? And there was other guys I met that night, other players that felt that way.
I'm sure.
Who were not Kobe Bryant. You know what I'm saying?
Like, oh, come on, man. What's up? Like, come on.
And I'll tell you a quick one too. There's a guy. Have you heard of Nick Young? Nick Young was one of the players. He was on the Warriors for a sec. He was on the Clippers, and he was on the Lakers.
It's familiar because I live like
close to the
or 30 minutes away. So.
Yeah. So Nick Young was dating Iggy Azalea for a while, and now it's
okay. Now I know.
Okay, so that's kind of that's kind of when he was like hot shit. So anyway, he's coming. Like there was a guy from ESPN that was down there, and he recognized me, and he's like, "You're Beau, right? Oh man, like your band and my wife or my girlfriend and your wife have worked together. Oh, cool! Like it was this really cool moment. I was like, oh, this is great. Makes me look legit down here,
Right.
And so Nick Young's running up the tunnel, and I was like, oh, there's his nickname Swaggy P. So I'm like, there's
that's what I know more.
I go, there's Swaggy, man. I gotta get a picture of Swaggy. Like, this is great. And I'm not like a huge Nick Young fan. I just thought, man, this is cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, it is. Yeah,
I was a fan, but I wasn't like, oh man. I was just like, oh man, this is cool. Nick Young's coming up the tunnel, and I'm like, hey Nick, and he literally like looked at me, and you could see he was not gonna stop. Like, he looked at me and started opening the door to like his room. Like, I'm getting out of here. I don't got time for this. And the dude from ESPN goes, hey Nick, this guy's got more Twitter followers than you. You're going to want to take this photo. And he stopped and went, word? And I was like, and at the time I did, I had like more Instagram followers than this dude. Yeah. I was like, and you could see, he's like, oh man, okay. And he comes over, and we got this like blurry photo, and I just, the whole like interaction was so funny that it was worth it to me. Like, and it's someone like that who, like, he will never be Kobe, like, not, you know what I mean? Like, not, no diss to him, but he's never going to have that like legendary status, and if anyone is going to give me shit or not want to stop, it's going to be the greatest basketball player of all time,
of
right?
Course. He was the exact opposite.
Exactly. So that's just a whole, I just saw that whole thing like, man, it changed me also with, I've always been great to our fans. Like, I've always gone up to the merch table.
And I've seen it. Yeah.
Yeah. Like our whole career, like I've always like treated them like I would want to be treated, because that's how I was raised. And I don't feel like I'm anything more special than they are. And so I've always trying to like treat them that right way. And like, especially after that night, I went like, man, like, he made me feel like I was the only person in that hallway. And, like I was somebody special. I don't know. You didn't know me. You didn't have to stop and have this conversation and dial in. He could have just like been like, yeah. Okay, cool. Here's the ball. And like, taking off. Like, and I feel like if I would have kept talking to him, he probably would have stayed there and hung out,
Yeah. Right.
So,
that's awesome.
So that's sort of my whole story. And he'll always be, somebody special to me. And even though I didn't know the guy personally, and just the way he was as a father after his career, after he stopped playing basketball and became a writer and became very passionate about writing and women's basketball, and wanting to like coach his daughter and make sure that she was the one that was going to live on his legacy. Like, he didn't need a son, right? He didn't need a son to be like the next Kobe. Like, his daughter was going to be that. So,
exactly.
He led by example. So I'll always have him as someone to look up to, for sure.
Right. And just because he's, gone, rest in peace, doesn't mean that you can't stop, looking up to him, because, what he did and lived, as he lived for and how he lived, like, it's still something that you can still look up to and
totally
base yourself off of. And it kind of leads me in I think I just have this one last question, and maybe one more, but so that his daughter was with him, and obviously he has two others.
He's three and more daughters. Yeah.
So I mean, how, obviously by you having a daughter, like, how did it something change in your mind, like, when that happened? Like,
yeah, I mean, as far as like, it impacted me differently, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to say it impacted me more than other people, whatever the case is, but I have, like, you said, like, having a daughter, it just, like, man, it just wrecks me, man. Like, when I see those videos of them together and him courtside, like, just giving her advice and teaching her about what's going on the court, and like, man, like, they just definitely hit me harder, and made me hold Rocket a little closer. And you know what I mean? Like, one of those things. So it was heavy, man. It was super heavy. Like, and that was one of the first things I said, like Lights woke me up, and she's like, man, Kobe passed away. I'm like, what? Like, come on. No. I'm like, yeah, right. But the thing is, I mean, I've lost a bunch of people that are very close to me in my life. And I've had those phone calls, and I've had those moments, and it's like sickening, and you don't believe it. And it's different when it's someone you don't know, but you felt so, like a connection with.
Yeah, definitely.
And I was just like, were his kids with him? And she's like, I don't know. And no one knew at first, right? Like,
right. Yeah.
that information wasn't out there yet. And my phone is absolutely blowing up because everyone around me who knows me knows that like this dude was a big deal. So I'm getting all these texts, and all I could say to everyone was like, I just hope his family's all right. And then I found out his daughter was in the helicopter. And I was like, you got like, that's when it kind of took a crazy turn and really hits you, because you know that this girl had her whole life ahead of her, and she was so talented and seemed so happy, right? Like every time you see videos or photos, like she just huge smile and was tearing it up on the court. And so that it definitely hit me pretty hard when I found that out. And it made me come out and just hold Rocket a little closer. And because you don't know how many of those moments you have left, you know what I mean? And not saying anything tragic will happen in our family, hopefully that's not the case, but like life's just flimsy, and one small thing can happen and change the course of everything, right? So you only get a few of these moments left, even with her growing up, like she's eventually going to be 18 and move out, like, or however old she's going to be, and so you only have a certain limited amount of like, you get to lay in bed with her and just like hold her, or like teach her, or sit there and take her to the park, or whatever the case is. So it definitely like makes me take a step back and like, let's soak this moment in, you know what I mean? Like when you get those those spots of like just you and her, just us three, like, okay, let's soak this in. And because that's what life's about. Life's about those moments that you have with these people here and it's on Earth for a little while.
It's going by so fast, and it's a real bummer that it takes, something huge as, what happened to Kobe and his family to have people realize, take a step back. I mean, even for me personally, I mean, obviously I'm not married, I don't have kids, so it impacts me a little differently, but like as simple as just leaving the house and saying like, bye, see you, I love you. Like, kind of takes you back. And you're like, oh shit. Like I could just be going to the gym and I could, drop the weight on my face, or, like, so I mean, that's why I kind of wanted to ask. I didn't mean to bring it all into a downer. It's not really a downer conversation. It's more just wanted to kind of ask your.
It's cool. I'm glad you asked though, like, cause it's definitely something that was kind of a big deal to me. So it's all good.
Right on. Well, I guess he had a book. Is it just called Mamba Mentality?
Yeah, I think he's got a book. At all? Yeah, I don't have that book, but I've definitely watched pretty much any content of him on the internet. I've probably watched it at some point. But he's got a few books that he wrote. He started writing kids fictional books. And I knew he was really into that and like writing some fantasy and things like that. So you know what? I just should probably pick those up and check him out. That's one of the things I never really got into, was checking out his kids' books. But, with Rocket and everything else, like I should probably.
Why not? Yeah.
Yeah, grab one of those and check out his writing. Cool. Sweet.
Right on. Well, yeah, your Rocket's definitely a lucky girl.
Yeah, she's a lucky kid.
She'll if she doesn't know now, she'll know for sure. Especially you being the teacher, I'm sure at times she's like, ugh. But
awesome, man.
I don't know. Is there any things coming up that you want to put out there? That, I mean, I know the band thing, you can't. There's not much to really comment on that, and that would be more for people listening than me personally. But
just thanks for anyone that's listening that's been following myself or the band, and please keep doing so. And I appreciate all the support. I always say that to anytime that I have a chance, I just thank any fans, any followers, any supporters at all. I'm appreciative of it. And I know a lot of people are following my video stuff now, and it's so cool to watch them, like, watch me grow and kind of evolve into this next sort of, leg of life.
Exactly.
So just
cool.
Yeah, huge thanks to all of them. So cool.
Right on. Just so real quick, because I was trying to find, when I put these podcasts up that I do with, I have a guest, I try and use a photo so I can put and I was trying to find one that was cool, and I only have some like from way back when, and it's like not even relevant.
I'll send you something cool.
There was one that I took of you, and it's on you use it as your little icon on your Golden Hearts media. The one on that pink weird wall. Do you remember?
Oh yeah.
If you have that somewhere, even if it's just on your phone, it doesn't need to be like crazy high res, but that, because I want to try and use a photo that I took, so I don't have to like worry about tagging anyone, or forgetting to tag anyone. But send that, and I have all these links open. Pretty much your Instagram. I'll probably. I mean, people can look up your guys' Bless the Fall on
everything's
or anything, but your Golden Hearts media and whatnot on the notes and whatnot. So
those are the two big ones. Pretty much everything you want to find or see or learn about me is on one of those two Instagram pages.
Sick.
Sweet. All right, man. Yeah. Thanks for getting me to do this, because I appreciate it. I haven't done an interview in a while, or just chatted or done a podcast or anything for a bit. So I'm happy to support you on your new ventures. Hopefully we get some listeners going.
Well, I appreciate it. I mean, obviously it was fun to chat, because I mean, there was fun stuff to talk about, but also, it's still new for me. As much as I can't say I sound comfortable, but it's a little, unnerving, just because I don't do this. This isn't my, I literally, my first one was on the 4th.
Yeah.
Of last month, but of this year. So, this is the 10th episode. So I'm thankful that you're even on here longer than, 10 minutes, which we're at an hour and 31 right now. So,
oh, nice.
I thank you. So,
it goes by quick.
Chatting and being chill as you always are. So,
of course, buddy. Sweet. All right.
Sweet. Well, tell, Rocket doesn't know who I am, but I say hi, and I hope, all of you the best, and
thanks, dude. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate
can't wait
it.
To see all the the camera you get, but all the stuff you get. Yeah, see you on Netflix, huh?
Yeah. Fingers crossed. Let's speak it into existence.
All right. Yeah. Cool. All right, man. Well, I'll shoot you a text soon.
Okay. Sounds good, man. Take care.
Cool. Have a good weekend.
All right. You too. See ya.